being one of the most well-known cryptids ever reported across North America, the Jersey Devil has entered the popular folklore of cryptid encounters and has been referenced in nearly all forms of mainstream media, from books to movies to even modern video games. What fans of this ancient cryptid are not aware of, however, is that back in the early 1800s, it's believed that the US government led a clandestine mission to hunt down the Jersey Devil and remove it from the Pine Barrens area, which is located around New Jersey, to prevent the creature from wreaking havoc on the nearby communities. According to official reports surrounding the Jersey Devil, one of the oldest reported encounters with the Jersey Devil centers around a mission between the United States Navy and US President James Monroe. According to the reports regarding the incident, back in 1819, US President James Monroe, curious about the legends of the Leeds Devil, sent two men and Naval Officer Commodore Stephen Decatur, Dr. James Killian and a small group of men to investigate the Pine Barrens. By this time, Naval Officer Stephen Decatur was already a world-renowned captain of the United States Navy, having reached the position at only 25 years of age. Dr. James Killian was a world-renowned naturalist, having published several books on what would later be known as the field of zoology, with a special interest in exotic animals, similar to what would now be considered a cryptozoological fascination. Interestingly, a declassified government mission featuring Naval Officer Commodore Stephen Decatur, alongside a small team of people, is recorded as having occurred back in 1819, in which the team of men travelled to the Pine Barrens to perform a quality check on the iron industry, with the designation to inspect and test some of the privately produced armaments, such as cannonballs. The team was reported by the US government as having landed at the Burlington County Harbour and investigating the communities of Bastow and Hanover for unknown purposes. The official government report, however, claims that the men experienced nothing out of the ordinary and merely tested some of the equipment and met up with private factories and their managers. The truth is, however, that the rest of the story deviates from the government report, claiming that though the men did inspect the armaments and the factories throughout the Pine Barrens, many of the men seemed more interested in striking up casual conversations about local legends. After alerting the naval men and Dr. James Killian to the legends and sightings of the Jersey Devil, Officer Decatur decided to set up a temporary residency, and this was at a cabin located within the Pine Barrens, where the monster had been recently sighted. Although the details get somewhat hazy, surviving members of Decatur's crew claim that the men were attacked in the night by the Jersey Devil, with two men having been eaten by the creature, and Officer Decatur, Dr. James Killian and a handful of the crewmen having taken down the creature, after shooting the beast several times in the body. Before retiring after the attack, Dr. James Killian was reported as having performed a quick animal autopsy on the creature, determining that the beast was a natural inhabitant of the area and not of supernatural origin. After cutting open the womb of the creature, Dr. James Killian discovered the monster to have been pregnant with several pups of the strange dragon-like monster, and theorized that the creature must have been a surviving small population within the area, and that they needed to be dealt with. The claims end that Dr. James preserved one of the fetuses of the creature in a jar, and did this for further examination and private ownership. The whereabouts of the specimen is still unknown in the modern day. Interestingly, the claims that Dr. James made surrounding the creature's design, of it appearing to have been a native dragon-like species, sounds eerily similar to ancient Native American legends local to the region. Cryptid and UFO researcher George Dudding believes that the true legends of the Jersey Devil predate the modern-day legends of the 13th child. When researching the history of the pre-colonial period of the New Jersey area, George Dudding found similar stories of what was referred to as a dragon in the river that ran throughout the area of the modern-day New Jersey. Dudding would write the following in his investigations into the matter. Native American Indians are known to have inhabited the area for around 13,000 years, and this was after the most recent Ice Age. One of these tribal groups, known as the Lenni-Lenape, or Lenape Indians, occupied the lower Hudson River Valley in the Delaware River Valley, along with the lands that reached eastwards to the Atlantic Ocean, that's now known as the state of New Jersey. The early European settlers referred to the Lenape Indians as the Delaware tribe. During the occupation of the land by the tribe, they referred to the area around the Delaware River as the Place of the Dragon. After the Swedish explorers came, they referred to the Delaware River as Drake Kill, which is a combination of two words meaning Dragon River. In doing more research using old maps, it can be seen that there is a creek just across the Delaware River in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, called the Pequesing Creek, which is a tributary to the Delaware River. Within the same area is a place called Drake Island, which translates into French as La Rivière des Dragons, or the River of Dragons. End quote. Given Dr. James' findings and his recommendation that the native dragon-like species must be dealt with to prevent future attacks, given their rate of having offspring and the growing availability of livestock and cattle throughout the region, it appears that there may be some substance to these dragon theories. Although there was no evidence that the US government would perform any actions at the time, roughly 20 years later, reports of the monster would change how it was perceived. According to the Pine Barrens Museum, during the summer of 1840, the community surrounding the Pine Barrens forest suffered from mass sightings of the Jersey Devil, then known as the Leeds Devil creature, with claims that more than one Jersey Devil was prowling through the communities and attacking their children and livestock. During the year, record sightings of the creature were made, with reports of farms having been completely destroyed by the creature, as chickens, goats, cows and horses were described as being attacked by a large creature, or suffering from wounds that appeared as if the livestock animals had been dropped from a terrible height. The sightings and attacks would continue until 1841, with a sudden religious hysteria taking over the nearby communities, as residents local to the area were desperate to find any means to stop the sightings of the creatures, either through spiritual protection or physical protection. Relief would suddenly come during the year, however, as the sightings of the creature slowly died down, and normalcy resumed by the winter months. The cause for the disappearance of the Jersey Devil sightings is unknown, though several theories have spawned claiming that the US government was responsible for the hunting and eradication of the creature or creatures. Photographs have been shared online showing strange balls of lights in the sky above India. Residents have detailed that late in the night, mysterious objects can be seen hovering in the sky, pulsating from orange to red, and also making no noise, with others saying that the shape of these mysterious objects doesn't match anything like a plane or a helicopter. One of the first times this happened was back in June of 2021, with many locals being able to photograph the glowing objects while they remain stationary in the sky. But now residents have said that the objects have reappeared, causing confusion about what these things are. Religious people living in the region saw these strange lights as some sort of sign, while others were sure that the lights belonged to one craft, noting that they seemed to blink one by one, and which caused online researchers to say that these lights came on eerily similar to those that were seen above Phoenix. Some of these images have made their way online, and it's led to some people saying that these belong to a V-shaped craft, while others who don't believe in these crafts suggested that it could be a natural phenomenon. According to Narottam Sharu, an advisor at the Council of Science and Technology, they said the following about the strange objects. In the Saurashtra region, people cited 30 to 40 mysterious lights blinking in a straight line. This caused curiosity and fear in people of the region due to blind beliefs. However, according to space science, Such light sightings could be for three reasons. It could be either because a small portion of a meteorite had entered the surface of the Earth, or it could be a shooting star. But this particular sighting looks like multiple lights in a row. This could be because of some satellites passing through low Earth orbit. There are more than 3,000 satellites functional in the lower orbit of the Earth. This is definitely a sighting of some satellite. There is nothing to worry about." End quote. Not everyone was entirely won over by this explanation though, with locals who live close to the region and online users saying that the lights stayed in the sky for a long period of time and didn't appear to drop in altitude. Those who investigate strange objects have said that meteorites are often used to explain away these sightings, saying that for the Phoenix lights they tried to say it was military flares, even though people witnessed the lights long before the flares were dropped, and that the lights seemingly stayed in the sky for several hours. Due to the two events looking similar, some have suggested that the objects could have been the same, with explanations ranging from a top-secret military aircraft to an experimental aircraft that was being flown close to the area. However, as some have pointed out, if these do belong to the military, then why do they choose to fly over populated areas? For years now, large crafts that appear to be in the shape of a triangle have often been reported over densely populated areas, and this has led some to ask why the military would do this. It's no secret that the military and other installations have planes and high-tech equipment that many of us aren't aware of, so why risk showing these above areas that are heavily populated? It's one of the reasons why amateur researchers have suggested that these crafts may not actually belong to us, and that they could be coming from somewhere else. It's also interesting to note that military records have shown that these large crafts have even been detected above military installations, and on many occasions jets have had to be scrambled in order to find out what these things are, and it's the main reason why government officials have labelled these crafts as a national security threat. On top of being able to go in and out of radar, these crafts are seemingly untouchable. As of right now, these blinking crafts that appear to hover over densely populated areas are often reported throughout the year, and although explanations like military flares and meteorites are given to us, people are not convinced that this is what's actually being seen, leading some to put forward their own theories to explain what they're seeing. Interestingly, it seems that documents have revealed that India is actually somewhat of a hotspot for mysterious flying aircrafts. Going back a few years ago, 930,000 declassified documents were posted online by the Central Intelligence Agency, and one of them revealed that a mysterious craft was detected above India. The document goes on to detail how intelligence officials in the area couldn't explain what was being seen, saying that a large disc, silver in colour and able to travel at extreme speeds, appeared to be interested in an area in India. The area couldn't be identified due to being blacked out. The case file then goes on to note that after trying to catch up with the strange craft, which was unsuccessful on a number of occasions, the officials were left scratching their heads as to what they just encountered. This is just one of many events that remain a mystery. It's due to these kinds of sightings and reports that some have said these objects are unknown to us, or at least they were unknown to us at one point in time. Even today, pilots are still coming forward and detailing their strange encounters with machines that appear to not only have the ability to outmaneuver them, but notes that if things ever did go south, they wouldn't have any chance of being able to put up a fight. Sadly, although there's mountains of evidence pointing towards the fact that these crafts are genuine, pilots and other professionals are still being judged when they come forward with their encounters. So what do you make of these photographs, and what do you think these crafts are? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.